Hello, I'm Professor Timothy Craig Hardcastle. I'm an Honorary Associate Professor in the Department of Surgery here at UKZN. My role is that of the head of the subspecialty training program in trauma critical care, which includes trauma surgery, trauma intensive care, burn care and disaster management. My role is as an Honorary Associate Professor. So my research interests are quite wide, but they all revolve around trauma care, right from pre-hospital care, prevention, initial assessment and management of the injured patient, definitive intensive care and operative care, as well as particularly pediatric trauma and the roles around vascular trauma. I did my PhD in trauma systems for lower and middle income countries, looking at Afrocentric answers for dealing with trauma in Africa. So my other role in pre-hospital care is fulfilled through my dual appointment at the Durban University of Technology, where I'm an honorary research professor in emergency medical care, involved in teaching the paramedics and supervising research because they don't have a lot of people with PhDs that can assist them with this role. The reason I'm passionate about trauma care is because trauma is largely preventable. And even if we can't prevent it, it's important to be able to deal with the injured patient very appropriately to optimize outcome. And that's why systems of care are so important. And this is the reason for my passion. It starts right at where the incident takes place, moves through to the emergency care environment by the paramedics, in the hospital, in the operating room, in the intensive care environment, and eventually, hopefully, to rehabilitation and reintegration in society. And the big issue is because most of our trauma patients are fairly young, productive age people. What I love about teaching and learning is that I can impact far more patients and far more people than doing it myself. You know, if I train medical students, medical registrars, trauma fellows to optimally treat the injured and the burnt and the critically ill, for every one patient I can touch, they can touch 10 more. And thereby I impact on many more lives indirectly. And by inspiring in them a love for trauma care, because it takes place generally in the off hours and can be quite draining on the person's mental and physical abilities, inspiring them to do it with passion affects the patient outcome. So some of the achievements that I've been fortunate to achieve in my life have been presidency of the Trauma Society of South Africa, firstly as vice president from 2009, and then the president of the society from 2014. I'm also the chair of the accreditation committee for trauma centres. I've been the vice chair of the Association of Surgeons for the past 5 years, and have just stepped down from that position, but I remain on their peer review committee as the subcommittee chair. And then I'm currently the president of the Surgical Research Society of South Africa, which aims to inspire research in junior doctors, medical students and registrars for presentation to develop their research skills and research careers, as well as being the president of FOSAS, the Federation of South African Surgeons, which is an overarching organization that includes all the surgical, gynecological, anesthesia, ENT, urology, you name it. If it's surgical, we come together and we share problems, we share challenges, we aim at improving education across the board. And our mission is to make access to education and surgical skills available to South Africans. The other role that I fulfill is that of a college examiner. So I'm an examiner for the College of Surgeons of South Africa on both the surgical intermediate as well as for the College of Emergency Medicine on their diploma in emergency care. Some of the other privileges that I've had from an academic point of view is to supervise to completion 3 PhDs, numerous Masters in Medicine and Masters in Medical Science, and various similar master's degrees over the years. I also enjoy teaching the undergraduates, and I'm the module coordinator for the 4th year emergency block to make sure that forensics, emergency medicine, trauma, orthopedic trauma and anesthesia is taught to our medical students. In addition to that, I've been an external examiner on 6 PhDs, numerous master's degrees, and have been the undergraduate examiner for 3 different medical schools across the country. These have enabled me to share my skills and develop other people's skills, and hopefully also encourage the students who have been examined. So one of my missions in life is always to be a servant, and I can do that through helping at medical journals, and I review for a lot of medical journals, but I'm also an associate editor for some international journals such as the World Journal of Surgery, the African Journal of Emergency Medicine, the South African Journal of Surgery, the European Journal of Trauma and Emergency Surgery, as well as an American publication called JETS, the Journal of Emergencies, Trauma and Shock. That way I can help encourage people to submit their work, have their work reviewed, and get their work published. From a research perspective, I've been privileged to be involved with a number of national and international collaborations, including with the World Health Organization. I'm on their advisory board for snake bites. I'm on their advisory board for surgery in lower and middle income countries, and together with that group and the International Association for Trauma Surgery and Intensive Care, we are busy developing a trauma operative course for lower and middle income countries, and we'll be going to Malaysia in August to finalize that training course. I've also been privileged to be involved as a national delegate for the World Society of Emergency Surgery, promoting their international consensus documents, and have been privileged to be a co-author on a number of their consensus papers. So in terms of recognition for the work that I've done, I've been awarded firstly a Rotary Paul Harris Fellowship as a non-Rotarian member. I've been awarded a Golden Key Society membership on completion of my PhD, and also 2 teaching awards from the university in 2022 and 2023 as Best Emerging Teacher and Best Established Teacher, which is really encouraging that people recognize that what I'm doing with teaching others is having an impact.